What's up, everybody? Mad Hooter here. Getting some more news. The only reason why I'm addressing this topic again, because I think everybody knows where I'm at. Anybody that's seen my channel. So there's news coming out about Trump's SNAP program and the changes that he's making. So, the left, the heads are spinning because it's actually working. Less people, drastically less people, are staying on food stamp programs, SNAP program. So we're saving money, and jobs are being created, so more people are going back to work, and they don't have to depend on these programs, which is the point. You know, I keep getting responses from some of my other videos on this, where people are, well, think about the old people and the you know, the disabled people, and like, yeah, that's why these programs are there. Those people, yes. If you are disabled and you're completely unable to have a job, which, let me explain this to some people. You can be paraplegic and have a job. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of a fella named Stephen Hawking, but he couldn't even speak, and he had a job. He was making money. He was a productive member of society. So you got to be pretty fucked up to not be able to do something. You could do tech support. You could take calls. You could do something. You don't have to actually be out there lifting pieces of iron and building houses and shit to say that you have a job. If you want to work, you can work. And that's the problem, is too many people don't want to work. And I understand how people decide they don't want to work, because it feels good to lay on the couch and be a potato and sit there and text messaging your friends on your government phone. I get it. But these programs can become a drag on our economy. And it's not helpful to people to just let them. It's like when you put lions in a cage. Once you put lions in a cage and you lob some stakes over the fence at them every once in a while, they don't want to hunt. You can take them back out in the wild, and it takes them forever to exist, and a lot of times they die. Lions, cheetahs, whatever. We've tried to rehabilitate all kinds of different wild animals, and people are the same way. If you give them just enough to where they can just lay around, then that's what happens. They waste away. Human beings actually do want to get up. If you give them enough motivation, they do want to get up and do things. Build things. Become an artist. But if you just hand them stuff and say, well, look, you don't really have to do anything. You can just exist. So that's why these programs, and people are freaking out now. The Harvest Bog program is already coming into play in certain places. So, you know, people are getting food. And like I said before, if you're going to put your hand out like this, don't be mad about what somebody puts in it. Be glad you're getting something. Don't be disrespectful. Of course, being disrespectful nowadays seems to be, it's like a sport. Especially with, you know, people on the left. I remember when it was people on the right that were extremely disrespectful. But now the pendulum has flipped. And all these social justice warriors and leftists and anarcho, you know, socialists, they're all out of their mind, because some of these philosophies don't even belong together. And so they're losing their mind over this thing, and it's actually working. And what's making people's heads spin even more is, if you watch all the polls and the aggregates and you put it together, Trump's approval rating is going up. It's on a steady little climb. He's getting a point or so every month now, especially this year. And taxes are coming. People are going to start getting more. The majority of people are going to start getting their tax returns. And I'm telling you, people are going to be like, well, hey, man, this Trump dude ain't so bad. Yes, the launching missiles into Syria, not my favorite thing. But I don't think it's going to trigger World War II, because Russia just They basically said, hey, don't launch any missiles, we're going to shoot them down. We put missiles over there. We hit, supposedly, we hit their chemical plants where they were making chlorine or whatever, and it still remains to be seen if there was actually, how much of this stuff was true. So we could be being led, but we launched some missiles over there. We hit their little chlorine plants, and Trump's like, that's what we're going to do. We did our surgical strike, and now I think he's just going to back off. And so Russia was like, well, don't do it again, or we're going to be really mad, So it's like, I think the whole thing is bullshit. Now, what I think is going to happen with Syria is nothing. Apparently, we didn't kill any Russians. Supposedly, it doesn't sound like we really hit any civilians. So, there's that. We'll let it sit. Trump will just back off and watch the situation settle down. Maybe Assad will chill out. So people are starting to have their heads spin because the guy that we were told this whole time was, the next coming of Hitler or Satan, and he's the worst man ever to ever grab a woman by anything, which that stuff, I think, like, saving the economy and creating jobs and have people living in America at a better level than they have been for the last couple decades. I think that's more important than what Trump says or anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be Trump. Pick somebody else. Hell, if, as much as I hate the grand emperor of leftism, Chuck Schumer, if he was saying the right shit and was trying to implement the right kind of policies, if he had any policies that I thought would help, and he'd get my vote. But he's not gonna, because he's out of his damn mind. And the Democrats don't have a platform, so there's that. Their platform is Trump sucks, and anybody that likes him sucks, and if you don't agree with us, you suck. And so just come agree with us, and then we'll figure something else out. So when people want to complain about this food stamp program, and then once again, the food stamp program, the Harvest Box is only half. Don't like it? Get yourself a job. Hell, if you sell crack, maybe you're not good enough at selling crack if you got to be on food stamps. That's how the market works, bro. If you're good at something, people will pay you for it. Supply and demand. Provide a service, you get rewarded for it. So if you sell weed or crack or whatever you got to do, or if you're out giving handies on the street, if you are good at giving handies, you will get enough money. You don't need to be on food stamps, and you can go to the store and get whatever you want. That is the whole point. People that are disabled, yes, they need these programs. That's what they're for. People that are invalids, they need that. Anyway, later. So what's the deal?